Hi, English 102 students. We're beginning week 2 and we'll have our first short story study. By this point, I have probably graded most, if not all, of your week 1 assignments. One in particular to review is my feedback on your diagnostic essay. Don't just look at the grade. That will not really give you much useful information. You won't know why you got the grade you did and what I think about how you interpreted the short story Snow, or if there was some issue with that. The whole reason I do a diagnostic essay is really to give you feedback at the beginning of the semester and guide you towards the things that you would need to work on or pay attention to be successful in the class. So if you click on the assignment and open up where you put your paragraphs, you will see a box that says feedback, and if it doesn't already open up for you, make sure you click on it so that you can read that feedback all the way through. We're going to have our first short story study. It's Everyday Use by Alice Walker. I wanted to preview this a little bit with you. Each week you'll have a to-do list, kind of acts as a checklist. And because it's an online class, you have most of your instruction is in videos, but there will be some handouts, but they'll be in the week 2 instructional videos. So getting your instruction early in the week, reviewing that, previewing that, should be something you do at the very beginning of our week. And then once you read the story, then you can engage in the discussion. Make sure that when you watch the videos, you're taking notes. When you're reading the story, you're taking some notes. The unit quiz will be at the end after you've had some discussion, after you've kind of looked over all the notes. So don't jump to the quiz too quickly. That's why the deadline for that is at the end. Actually, I have to make a change on here. I don't think I have the revision assignment in. I think I have the conflict analysis assignment. Sometimes we'll have discussion boards. So I've done some tweaking on this class, and I just got something on the to-do list that I need to update. So you have the full text PDF here. You also have a link. Most of the time you'll have week 2 instructional materials and you see the story here. So you can just view it right inside of here, or you can download it to your computer and read it from there. Here's a handout. This is common themes. We have a theme focus, and all this content will be on the quiz. So you could also download this to your computer. You can print it out if you like to print things. These are some definitions on the right, for kind of themes, common themes that we have in literature listed there on the left. And it's just to give you a starting point. It's certainly not the list of all themes. There's as many themes possibilities as maybe stories, and stories can have more than one theme. They usually have a dominant theme, and we'll learn how to make sure we identify that. But there's also other themes as well, especially when those stories get longer and more complex, or even poems. So we have the common themes you want to make sure so you get an idea of those topics. And then our specific assignment this week is not only to read the story and think about its theme, but to have our first instruction on literary analysis. And all stories have a conflict. This is what we do besides plot summary. Plot summary is just simply comprehending what happened in the story. That's pretty basic. And grade school. At the college level, we analyze it, and I'm giving you the tools. The first tools for that are conflict analysis. So I have this in a couple formats. I have it in a PowerPoint. I have it in I have a PDF on that. This is slightly different, but it has, same kind of information. This is in a PowerPoint, and what you may like to do is just watch that in the video. I have a lecture where I go through that PowerPoint and explain it. And then I have one where I actually apply it to our story, and I give you some tips on that. So you want to learn how to conflict analysis because you'll use it for all our stories, but I'm helping you learn how to apply it in the story everyday use. I have a couple of other resources here. Some of them are more enriching, like the quilting history, because a quilt is a key um, symbol, motif in the story, and there's some background. This is extra, it's not on the quiz, but it may help you understand the significance of the quilt and the story emphasis. Also related is determining these terms that we use, protagonist versus antagonist. And it's our first kind of look of these are the roles that characters play in the conflict. Typically, a short story is going to typically have one protagonist, that's that main character, sometimes they're considered the hero, versus one main antagonist, kind of like the villain. In a longer story, uh, that would, there could be multiple protagonists or multiple antagonists. But still, even in a novel or in a play, there's going to be one. And for many years, the name of the novel or the name of the play was the name of the protagonist, like Shakespeare's Hamlet, Shakespeare's Macbeth, or Lady Jane Eyre by Jane Austen, or Robinson Crusoe. And so, for many years, the protagonist, the hero, the main character, their name was the title. The other handouts have to do with writing, and it's really to help make sure that you got what you should have gotten from English 101 as you're moving into 102, whether that was just last semester or several years ago. So you want to review those characteristics of basic college essays, the composition guidelines. In context too, as you read your composition or your diagnostic essay feedback, that will go a long way. And then I have a literary analysis, let's see if I can bring this down a little bit, worksheet down below here that it's just under here. It's not letting me show you that. That kind of helps you have something to work with on the stories as we go through. We will learn the different parts as we go. It's not an assignment per se right now. It's a good thing to collect information on as you go through in our study. So this is how you're taught. Okay, I'm giving you a little overview. We're really going to emphasize the heritage identity theme, but we're going to look at conflict analysis first. Okay. And I want to talk about identity a little bit. This is identity as a theme. We'll develop it more next week. Is how a person identifies themselves, how they know who they are, who do they belong to, how they are uniquely an individual, how they belong to a specific group. And you will see that in everyday use, you have sisters and a family that have a different way of identifying themselves. They're in the same family, but they don't identify themselves culturally the same way. And heritage is a specific theme focus in that. And there's a conflict between how they identify themselves. So they go together. Your quiz at the end of the unit brings together the instructional materials, the conflict analysis, the themes that you learned, and the story. So hopefully that will be all you need to kind of get you started there. Like I said, we will have discussions. I'm going to go ahead and kind of preview, next week. Maybe I need to add that. We'll start with our first instruction about our essay and have a few more identity selections. All right, that is all for now. Best wishes. If you have a question, reach out to the question and answer discussion board first, and let's see, right there, and then email me directly. Okay, we do have tutors, and I thought I had that link right up the top. Maybe it's here in class resources. Let's see. It is, there it is. I will be talking about criterion soon, so that's something you will need to purchase for English 102. Hopefully you know that from English 101. Your code will work a little bit longer. It works for 6 months, so go back and consider when you bought that and determine when it expires so you'll know when to get that renewed.